In these next few examples, we are going to be dealing with multiplying powers together. Now there are a few things that we have to remember before we go on with these questions. If we take a look at our first example, we have 3 to the power of 3 times 3 to the power of 4. Now this 3 and this 3 are called our bases, and the small numbers up top, the 3 and the 4, are called our exponents. When we multiply powers together with similar bases, all we have to do is add the exponents. So now let's go through our examples. In our first example, 3 to the power of 3 times 3 to the power of 4, we see that they have the same bases. So all we have to do is add the exponents. So we have 3 raised to 3 plus 4. And we're left with 3 to the power of 7 as our final answer. Going over to 4 to the power of 2 times 4 to the power of 2, they both have the same base. So all we have to do is add the exponents. So we have 4 to the power of 2 plus 2, and we're left with 4 to the power of 4. Next, we're moving on to 5 times 5 to the power of 2. Now we can remember whenever there isn't anything raised to a power, it always has a power of 1 next to it. So because these have similar bases, we're just left with 5 to the power of 1 plus 2. And then we're left with 5 to the power of 3 as our final answer. Now we move over to 4 to the power of 2 times 5 to the power of 2. But as we can see, this 4 and this 5 are not the same bases. So therefore we can't add our exponents, and we're just left with 4 to the power of 2 times 5 to the power of 2 as our final answer. Now moving on to 11 to the power of 3 times 11 to the power of 12. Both these questions have the same base of 11, so we just have to add our exponents of 3 plus 12. And we're left with 11 to the power of 15. Moving on to the question down here, we have 6 to the power of 1 times 6 to the power of 1. Both questions have the same base of 6, so we just add the exponents of 1 plus 1, and we're left with 6 to the power of 2. Next, moving on to 1 to the power of 3 times 1 to the power of 1. Again, they have the same base of 1, so we just add the exponents. 1 to the power of 3 plus 1 is 1 to the power of 4. Now we have 3 times 3 to the power of 3. Remember, when 3 is raised to nothing, it's always raised to the power of 1. So these have the same bases, so we just add the exponents, and we're left with 1 plus 3, which gives us 3 to the power of 4. Now we have 2 to the power of 3 times 10 to the power of 11. We can see 2 and 10 are not the same base, so we can't reduce it any further, and we're left with 2 to the power of 3 times 10 to the power of 11 as our final answer. Moving on to our final example, we have 100 to the power of 3 times 100 to the power of 21. These have the same base of 100, so we just have to add the exponents, and we're left with 100 to the power of 3 plus 21, which is 100 to the power of 24 as our final answer.